This week's report from Nebraska's National Agricultural Statistics Service shows the state's cattle and calves should enter spring in favorable shape. The agency rated 86% in good to excellent condition, with 0% classified as very poor and only 1% listed poor. With grazing season approaching, Nebraska Extension Range and Forage Specialist Jerry Volesky says farmers and ranchers can begin getting ready for the grazing season. We talked with Jerry recently in North Platte and began by asking how that area of the state had weathered winter so far.
Here in western and central Nebraska, it's been a pretty average winter. We've had periods of warm and cold and periods of snow, and I think so moisture-wise at this time of the year, we're pretty much average.
Give me an update on, or tell me why it's important to have a grazing plan.
Well, as we're getting a couple of months away yet, or a little bit less from the start of the growing season, having a plan in place is just very important in terms of outlining how you're going to conduct your grazing program for the coming season, having things like identifying which stocking rates you'll use in your different pastures, what your turnout date might be. If you use some type of rotational system, it's very important to plan the sequence of use for each of the different pastures that you've got in your management unit.
What factors affect turnout date?
Well, of course, the spring precipitation plus temperature is very important. We've seen in the past few years some very different spring conditions where it would one year be very warm, very early, and then another year quite cold well into May. And that's probably the main thing in terms of getting those grasses started and affecting what the turnout date will be.
Do you like producers to have a contingency plan or a drought plan in case things get nasty?
Well, absolutely, and especially as we get into the month of April and certainly through May, of course, those are probably a couple of the most important months in terms of precipitation and its relationship with our grass and pasture production. And so having some kind of backup or drought plan just in case is always a good idea. And one of the ways some people approach that drought plan is have trigger dates, and by that I mean they'll look at the total precipitation, say through the month of April, and compare it to the long-term average for that period. And if, for example, they realize they're quite behind, and if it's May 1st, we know that the cool season grasses in the pastures will be starting to really grow. And so if they are behind, they should plan some alternatives, such as maybe doing a little bit more culling, feeding hay a little bit longer, delaying that turnout date, those types of things.
Can they also be thinking about what types of forages they might want to plant coming up?
Sure, as we are here in the spring, we're not too far away, typically late March, early April. If they're thinking about some cool season annual forage, oats and peas is a very common spring seeded mixture. Getting those fields planned as far as which fields they'll use, getting that seed ordered and in place. Be the time to be doing it now.
And as far as summer forages, Jerry?
Sure. Again, it's not too early to think about the summer annual forages. Though it would include things like the sorghum, Sudan grass hybrids, millets, Sudan grass, straight Sudan grass. Typically, those are planted mid to late May, and so again, identifying which fields, how those forages will be used, whether they'll be hayed or grazed, just another important part of the planning process.
On the Market Journal website, you can find links to more information on getting ready for the grazing season and managing drought risk on the farm or ranch.